Good evening, and thank you so much for joining us tonight for Friends at 5. I'm Andrea Mock.
And I'm Darcy Strickland. Tonight we're starting with redistricting. It happens once every 10 years, but it's very important because it impacts who you get to vote for. Today, lawmakers are tasked with redrawing district lines to make sure districts are equal in population.
Yeah, but today, many people raised concerns that the House representatives are planning to create districts in an unfair way that benefits them. So to break this all down and explain what it means, News 19's Julia Kaufman joins us live now from the State House. Julia, what went down today?
Andrea, Darcy, the word gerrymandering was used a lot today in the public hearing on how the House should redraw their district lines. Now, gerrymandering refers to lawmakers drawing districts in order to get themselves re-elected. They could possibly do this by drawing the lines around neighborhoods that they know would vote for them. Now, many community members accused the House of doing this today, saying the proposed map that they just released a couple days ago is very biased, especially compared to our current districts that we have today. Those were designed in 2010. Many are concerned that the map will take away competitive elections, which could give voters fewer choices on their ballots.
When you go in the voting booth in November, if either there's no competition at all or the district is so biased that it's already known which party will win, your vote has been taken away from you. Now, it may have been taken away from you by population distributions in the state. That's very often true. But our evidence is that in some cases in this map, it would be taken away from you because it's been designed to take it away from you.
We believe the working plan adheres to the fundamental goal of this committee and the House to adopt a plan that makes sure that South Carolina's legislative districts provide for equal voting rights, traditionally referred to as the one person, one vote principle.
Now, you just heard chair of the committee right there, Rep. Jay Jordan. Him and many other lawmakers disagreed with these claims and said that they're really doing their best to try to account for all of these population changes across the state. Now, the House is really hoping to have their maps passed in December because their election is in November of next year. Today, they accepted public testimony, and they're still going to accept written testimony through Monday at noon. So to find out how you can submit your comments, you can head to our website, WLTX.com. Darcy?
Julia, thank you. Today, Governor Henry McMaster joined Scott Willis, the CEO of the company DartPoints, to discuss the launch of the first internet exchange in the state. The company says their goal is to bring internet access into local communities while improving performance and lowering costs for businesses and schools across the state. Here's what the governor had to say about the internet exchange.
Rural broadband is very important, and of course the private companies are working on it. The state government is working on that. We want everybody to have access because there's so many things that opens up to our people. And this DartPoints today, that'll speed that whole process up and make it more reliable, as you heard today. That's why this was a big announcement today. This company is here in South Carolina. That's going to help us with our economic growth and prosperity.
Well, DartPoint says their launch will reduce the amount of power utilized by 70% due to the lack of additional cooling needed for their digital infrastructure.
All right, thank you so much, Efren. Well, today has not been an easy one in Kershaw County. Students and staff and family, friends and teachers are mourning the loss of a very young student there, an 8th grader in Elgin named Wilma Guzman Perez. She died unexpectedly over the weekend, and teachers learned the news on Monday, and parents and students found out on Tuesday. Today, everybody is remembering what a wonderful girl Wilma was. And her homeroom teacher, Julie Stockman, says that she was eager to learn and passionate about school and always had a smile. She says she could always hear Wilma's laughter in the hallways.
I remember her being kind and considerate of others. And I think that's the legacy she leaves to us, is that she enjoyed life. She knew what was important in life, And I hope that I continue to remember that when I have moments when I get down and I've had a stressful day and I think I can't go on anymore. I'm going to think back to Wilma. The book fair's here.
Well, we're going to hear more from her teacher and a school counselor and also a parent whose son was classmates with Wilma coming up tonight on News 19 at 6. And the Irma Police Department is asking for your help tonight to find a missing teenager. Brandon Pacquiao Nunez was last seen on Monday at about 7:30 in the morning. He left his house for the school bus, but he never made it to school. Brandon is just 15 years old. He weighs about 160 pounds. He was last seen wearing a black shirt, black pants, and black shoes. If you have any information, his family is very worried. Please contact Irma Police. That number is 803-781-8088.
The Biden administration says their program to get kids ages 5 to 11 vaccinated is off to a strong start. Meanwhile, a government employee union is now asking the White House for an extension on the November 22nd vaccination deadline. Michael George has the story.
Federal health officials estimate more than 900,000 U.S. children ages 5 to 11 will have received their first COVID-19 vaccination by the end of the day.
Parents and families across the country are breathing giant sighs of relief, and we are just getting started.
The Biden administration calls it a strong start to the program, which started last week, with an additional 700,000 appointments already scheduled at local pharmacies. About 28 million children in that age group are now eligible to get the low-dose Pfizer shots. Pfizer is also asking federal officials to authorize its booster for everyone 18 and older, citing new data. The third shot offers close to complete protection from severe COVID.
FDA is currently looking at the data for expanding boosters to all populations.
On CBS Mornings, U.S. Surgeon General Vivek Murthy said it's likely the coronavirus will be around for some time, but with the help of vaccines, we'll be able to live with it.
We can ultimately get COVID, I think, to a place where it's somewhere in between the cold and the flu, where, yes, it's a virus that's circulating, but it doesn't disrupt our way of life, doesn't prevent us from seeing the people we love, doesn't prevent our kids from being in school.
Meanwhile, a union representing more than 700,000 government workers has asked the White House to extend a November 22nd deadline to get vaccinated. Michael George, CBS News, New York.
About 60 million Americans aged 12 and up remain unvaccinated.
All right, across the country now, the trial continues for a man accused of shooting and killing 2 people at a Wisconsin protest. Earlier today, though, in a surprising move, Kyle Rittenhouse took the stand in his own defense on charges of killing 2 men, wounding a third in Kenosha in protests back in 2020. He is arguing self-defense, and at one point, Rittenhouse cried during his testimony. That caused the judge to issue a 10-minute recess so he can collect himself.
Correct? I didn't intend to kill them. I intended to stop the people who were attacking me. By killing them? I did what I had to do to stop the person who was attacking me. By killing them? 2 of them passed away, but I stopped the threat from attacking me.
Before prosecutors rested their case, they showed drone video that gave jurors the closest look yet at the shooting of one of the victims, which was quickly followed by 2 more shootings as protesters chased Rittenhouse. Rittenhouse faces life in prison if he's convicted on the most serious charge.
Now for an update on a story that has been making national headlines. Yesterday, a judge denied bond for Alex Murdaugh. This comes after Judge Clifton Newman received a psychiatric evaluation, which he requested to be done in order to consider whether Murdaugh would get bond. But the court says the mental condition of the defendant finds Murdaugh in danger both to himself and to the community. Murdaugh was arrested back in October for 2 counts of obtaining property under false pretenses. New today at 5. State Representative Todd Rutherford has pre-filed a bill to lower the minimum legal drinking age in South Carolina from 21 down to 18. In a statement, Rutherford says this is a personal freedom issue. If you're old enough to fight for the country, vote and sign on for thousands of dollars of student loans, then you are old enough to have a drink. So that brings us to our question of the day. Of course, we love to hear from you, our viewers, and if Representative Rutherford is watching tonight, he'd love to hear from his constituents as well. What do you think about the idea of lowering the legal drinking age from 21 down to 18? Andrea, I'm sure we're going to get a lot of comments on this tonight.
I think a lot of people are going to have something to say. You can text us 803-776-9508. Leave us your name and where you're texting from and tell us what you think. But, you know, Darcy, nobody cares about my opinion, but my opinion is 21 is good. And I actually live close to 5 Points, and I have seen the foolishness of the way the young people who are legal enough to drink act, and they're 21, so I can't even wrap my mind around an 18-year-old being allowed to consume alcohol freely. And I know I wasn't mature enough at 18, so I think 21 is good. But again, my opinion doesn't matter. What do you think?
I think I can't wait to see what our viewers have to say. Again, 803-776-9508 is the number to dial in order to share your opinion. I mean, when we think about different legal ages to do different things, I mean, legally, you can't even rent a car until you're 25, right? You can stay on your parents' health insurance until you're 26.
Yep.
So there must be some value to age and maturation that would lead to some of these policies being in place. As the mother of two 14-year-olds and a 16-year-old, the idea of them being able to legally, the twins being able to legally purchase alcohol in 4 years is not really something I can wrap my mind around. No. But there may be some parents out there who say, you know what, my 18-year-old is the most mature person I know. I think it's a good idea. So that's why I think it's going to be a really good topic for our viewers today. They always comment, and I feel like we're going to get a lot of comments tonight.
I'm getting heart palpitations, like just thinking about it. Like my heart is getting a little weak. I'm getting heartburn, even just thinking about our children buying alcohol in a few years. So yeah, tell us what you think. But coming up a little later on tonight, it's a big night here at WLTX because we're going to get a chance to hear from both candidates who could be the next mayor of Columbia. We want you to tune in and make sure you watch everything that they have to say. Tamika Isaac Devine and Daniel Rickaman will both be in the WLTX studio in a matter of minutes. And coming up, prices everywhere are going up. Is that here to stay? We'll take a closer look next.
The cost of living is on the rise in the U.S. Labor Department, and consumer prices jumped 6.2% in the past year. This is the highest inflation rate since 1990. Anthony Pura tells us more.
A trip to the grocery store is leading to sticker shock for some shoppers, including Dolores Serio. What have you been noticing at the stores?
Sky-high prices.
A new report from the Labor Department shows overall grocery prices jumped more than 5% in the last year. Meat prices are up, with beef roast soaring almost 25% and bacon increasing 20%. Staples like eggs and coffee are also on the rise.
I used to shop based on what I like. Now I shop based on price and what I can afford.
It's not only food, just about everything we buy is more expensive, from clothes to used cars. Gas has skyrocketed, up nearly 50% in the past year.
I believe demand will remain strong, supply will remain constrained, and unfortunately, higher prices will be here probably for the next 6, maybe 9 months.
Supply chain slowdowns and current prices means Americans will be spending more on Thanksgiving dinner this year. Nearly everything it takes to make the typical holiday feast is pricier.
They're definitely up a bit.
Alan Arzoyan, owner of Handy Market in Burbank, California, says that includes the turkey.
This year we've seen a substantial increase in our wholesale pricing. Our fresh birds, Shelton, is up close to 20%.
But Arzoyan says demand for the store's complete turkey dinners is higher this year, and overall business is brisk despite rising prices. Anthony Pura, CBS News, Burbank, California.
And even though prices are increasing, it'll take more than clicks to secure your digital shopping cart picks. Now, according to Adobe Analytics, out-of-stock messages for online shoppers spiked. Are you ready for this? 250% last month compared to January of 2020. That translates to more than 2 billion attempted buys that were denied. Shoppers wanting to buy electronics were the most likely to receive an out-of-stock reply, followed by jewelry and apparel. And we are less than a week away now from Columbia's runoff elections. And tonight is a big night. Those looking to vote ahead of Tuesday's absentee in-person voting is happening now. So you can go to both locations at Hampton Street to cast an early ballot if you can't make it out next Tuesday. They're open every day at 8:30 in the morning until 5 in the afternoon. But they are going to be closed to honor Veterans Day. That's tomorrow. So don't head out to vote tomorrow early. You can also vote absentee in person next Monday during those same hours. And those early voters are selecting a new mayor. The two choices left standing, Councilwoman Tamika Isaac Devine and Councilman Daniel Rickaman, they were the two top vote getters in last week's election. And before you vote, we want you to hear from both candidates. They're going to be in the studio in just a couple of minutes for a debate tonight at 7 o'clock. News 19's J.R. Berry will be moderating the debate along with managing editor of the Post and Courier, Andy Shane. You can see the full debate live right here on News 19 and also on our social media platforms. You can also check it out. We will be streaming it on our YouTube channel.
A reminder about this year's Stuff a Bus campaign. We're only weeks away from kicking off. We've partnered with the Salvation Army again this year to help families in need. We'll be collecting new unwrapped toys, non-perishable food items, and monetary donations to help those who are in need have a happy holiday season. What I really want to get across to you all is no donation is too small. If you're looking to donate, we have more details on our website at WLTX.com or on the News 19 mobile app.
All right, something else cool going on this weekend. Washington Street United Methodist Church is going to be hosting a socially distanced Sunday dinner for anybody who in the community who needs a free meal. This dinner is going to be this Sunday, November 14th from 4 to 6. The church is located on Washington Street in downtown Columbia, and they says a free dinner is available for anybody. No exceptions and no exclusions. The takeout meal is going to be chili, baked potatoes, cornbread, fruit, and a cookie, and also a drink. Masks are required, but again, that is going on this Sunday in downtown Columbia. All right, much more to get to tonight on Friends at 5. How is that weekend forecast shaping up since today was so hot? We're going to check in with Chief Meteorologist Efren Afonte coming up. All right, good evening. Thanks for sticking around for the second half hour of Friends at 5 today. I'm Andrea Mock.
And I'm Darcy Strickland. We're starting off this half hour talking about coronavirus numbers, COVID numbers, specifically in South Carolina. Today, DHEC updated cases of COVID-19 in the Palmetto State, the agency confirming 382 new virus cases and 2 new deaths from COVID-19 complications. The current percent positive rate in South Carolina is 4%.
States. Let's take a look at the states that are seeing this new COVID-19 Delta variant. You just saw those on your screen. This new Delta variant, unfortunately, has been discovered in 8 different states. Those states are North Carolina, California, Florida, Maryland, Massachusetts, Nevada, Rhode Island, and Washington, D.C. And the CDC says it spreads faster than the original Delta strain. News 19's Tai Wong talks with health officials about why people should not let their guards down despite local mask mandates being lifted.
AY 4.2, also known as Delta Plus.
It is a real concern in unvaccinated populations.
Prisma Health infectious disease physician Dr. Helmut Ulbrich says the CDC is doing more research on the latest COVID-19 variant, but says the virus spreads faster than the original Delta strain.
But we have to do is get more people vaccinated before the holidays.
The CDC says right now there is more concern with the current Delta strain, with more research still needed for the new variant.
The mutations will not make it evade the immune system better, which is what we're really worried about.
While COVID-19 cases and hospitalizations are declining, some municipalities started lifting mask mandates this week.
I hereby repealed. This ordinance shall take effect immediately.
On Tuesday, the city of Columbia ended its mask ordinance.
Well, knowing that there's a new variant out there, again, is more surprising that the city decided to stop masks.
Forest Acres in the city of Casey also ended their mandates, while on Tuesday, Richland County Council voted to extend its mandate.
We're not in as bad a shape as we were maybe this time last year, but we do still have probably cases that would be considered too high, really to completely go, maskless.
Public health physician for DHEC, Dr. Kanuka, says the state agency still recommends masks.
If history is any guide, I think we should be cautious about what could happen with winter approaching and people traveling and getting together for the upcoming holidays. And I would still recommend, at least for the foreseeable future, that people be cautious and they're on the side of caution, wear their face masks, even if they're fully vaccinated.
Dr. Ulbrich says new variants are normal and people should not panic, explaining viruses evolve. Reporting in Columbia, Tai Wong, News 19 WLTX.
All right, there you go. The doctor says not to panic. And health officials add the best way to protect yourself from any virus is being up to date on your vaccines, wearing your face mask, continue good hand hygiene, wash your hands, and don't forget about the importance of social distancing.
Well, as Ty did just mention, the city of Columbia and Forest Acres did repeal their mask mandate. Today, Governor McMaster spoke about mask mandates statewide.
Again, people know what the virus is all about. They know how to protect themselves. We do not need mandates. Do not need mandates of any kind, in my opinion. And I will do everything I can to see that the people of our state are able to have the opportunity to make up their own mind for them and their families, and not have government mandates imposed on them.
The governor says there could be a chance that we could see an increase in COVID-19 cases, a spike again, but he still believes mandates are unnecessary.
And if you are looking to get your little ones vaccinated, listen up. Today, Nephron Pharmaceuticals in West Columbia announced the opening of a pediatric COVID-19 vaccine clinic for children ages 5 to 11. The company is partnering with Dominion Energy to offer a vaccination drive-through at Dominion Energy that is located off of I-77 at exit 2. So they're making this very convenient for parents. The clinic is going to be open Monday through Friday from noon until 5:30. And Pfizer and its partner BioNTech are asking federal regulators to expand the reach of their booster shot to anybody ages 18 and older. The two say the new data shows a booster shot offers close to complete protection from severe COVID-19. The FDA originally denied their request for its booster back in September, saying there wasn't enough information at the time, but evidence now shows without a booster, the vaccine effectiveness drops over time. The FDA could rule on the request as soon as next week.
Tomorrow is Veterans Day, and the City of Columbia is hosting their 43rd annual Veterans Day Parade. The parade will kick off at 11 a.m. from the intersection of Sumter and Laurel Streets. It will then head down Sumter Street and end at Pendleton Street near the State House. The year's Grand Marshals will be representatives from the state's National Guard.
November 11th is when the country thanks those who served our nation. But does Veterans Day honor active duty service members? Let's verify. Our sources are the Department of Defense, the Department of Veterans Affairs, and the USO. Veterans Day got its start in 1938 when Congress made Armistice Day an official holiday to honor those who fought in World War I. Eventually, veterans of later wars lobbied Congress to recognize them, too. In 1954, Congress officially renamed Armistice Day Veterans Day. As its name implies, Veterans Day is only intended to recognize veterans, who are people who have previously served in the military, not those on active duty. The VA explains Veterans Day is largely intended to thank and acknowledge living veterans, although those who have passed away are also remembered on Veterans Day. Those who died while serving are honored on Memorial Day. So it's false that Veterans Day honors active duty service members. Instead, the USO says that's what Armed Forces Day is for on the third Sunday of May. With your Verify, I'm Brandon Lewis. To receive daily fast facts to your phone, text Verify to 202-410-8808. And to sign up for our newsletter, visit verifythis.com/email.
Looking ahead to December, again, we want to remind you about this year's Staffle Bus. So we are only weeks away from coming out to a Walmart near you. Once again, we are partnering with the Salvation Army to make this very convenient for you to give to those around you this Christmas. And the best part is all of the toys we collect, they stay right here in the Midlands and will go to your friends and neighbors who otherwise might not have anything to give their kids this Christmas. On December 3rd, we will be out at the Walmart on Forest Drive in Manning and Orangeburg, Dutch Fork, and Lexington. Please bring us a new unwrapped toy, and then don't forget we love monetary donations as well.
We are a little less than a week away from Columbia's runoff elections, and those who are looking to vote ahead of Tuesday have absentee voting in person as an option. It is happening now. Both the 2011 Hampton Street and 2020 Hampton Street locations will be open today and Friday from starting at 8:30 in the morning. They will be closed tomorrow for Veterans Day. You can also vote absentee in person next Monday. Those early voters are selecting a new mayor. The two choices are Councilwoman Tamika Isaac Devine and Councilman Daniel Rickaman. They were the two top vote getters in last week's election. And before you vote, we will have both candidates in studio for a debate on the issues tonight. News 19's J.R. Berry will be moderating the debate along with the managing editor of the Post and Courier, Andy Shane. You can see the full debate live right here on News 19 and also on our social media platforms, WLTX.com, the WLTX Facebook page, and on the News 19 YouTube channel.
To help ring in the holiday season, Belk is hosting Santa Fest. It's a holly jolly in-store event where kids can write letters to Santa and decorate some elf-themed coloring pages and create holiday ornaments. So this festive event is going to be held at all Belk locations this Saturday from 12 to 3. Guests are going to be able to enter to win a grand prize giveaway in which a total of 10 toy prize pack winners will be drawn. After Santa Fest, the Belk at Columbiana Center will also host a Salvation Army group to wrap gifts that you've already purchased. So again, that's going on this Saturday from noon to 3.
Georgia judge is saying ho-ho no to the little guy who spreads Christmas cheer. The judge issued a cheeky court ruling banning Elf on the Shelf from homes in his district, saying it's his gift to tired parents. As many of you know, the elf moves, and he's the eyes and ears of Santa, moving to a different location each night until Christmas. So Elf on the Shelf not allowed in Georgia, well, at least in that district in Georgia this year. From what I hear, he's still good in the Midlands. I haven't heard of any rulings that would ban him here in the Midlands, but you know, kids, if you're watching, sometimes parents get emails about this ruling that we don't get here at the news station, and so it could happen. It could very well happen, Andrea.
I'm ready for this to happen here in Columbia. I think a judge should take up this issue. I know that the elf can be very taxing on parents. We have an elf at our house. His name is Fraggy, and for 30 days he hangs out in our house, and he has to move every single night to go to the North Pole to report on the child's behavior, and then he comes back in a different location to show your child child that, you know, he's gone and reported your behavior to Santa, and this is the way he works. And if you touch him, Darcy, he loses his magic. So you can't touch him. But I'm fine. Listen, Fraggy can stay at the North Pole and just keep working on the toys in our house because we don't need him. I'm done with him.
I think that's a good idea. Yeah, I think that's a great idea. And sometimes, you know, we've talked about this, Andrea. Sometimes the tooth fairy doesn't check her email every night. So she didn't get the email that you lost a tooth the night before. I mean, a lot has happened. A lot's happened. So you gotta give these elves and fairies a little grace, kids.
Yes,
Give them a little break.
Yeah, and you know what? Santa needs all the help he can get, so they should all stay at the North Pole. All right, we are going to stay right here and take a quick break and be back with more friends at 5 after this. We got to check in on our weekend forecast next.
It is time to introduce you now to this week's hometown hero. This is Nicholas Wilcox, and he's a kindergarten teacher at Gadsden Elementary School in Richland County, Richland 1. He was nominated by one of his students' grandparents. And they say Mr. Wilcox is known for greeting his students every day before school and making sure they know just how important they are. He takes the time to get to know each student and their families and creates a community of trust and partnership. Well, congratulations to you, Mr. Wilcox. You just won a $100 gift card to Hardee's. Now, if you know someone who deserves to be recognized as a hometown hero for going the extra mile, go to WLTX.com. Our Hometown Heroes form, the nomination form, is available on our website. And please don't forget to include the picture. Who knows? The person you nominate may be the next person we recognize on Wednesday morning. All right, folks, welcome back. We were talking to you early in the newscast about a local representative's pre-file bill that would allow the drinking age to be lowered from 21 to 18. We imagined that there was going to be a lot of discussion about that, and you guys have definitely come through with the comments. Let's read just a couple of them for you. Off the top, this viewer says, I agree with Andrea. There is still immaturity at 21 with alcohol. Lowering the age is not a good solution. If it is about serving our country at 18, then allow only 18-year-old active duty soldiers to purchase alcohol on a military base. That's from Darius. Now, Fran lives in Manning. She says she has 3 18-year-olds in her home. All 3 are joining the military. If they can join the armed services on their signature, yes, they can drink.
Okay, all right. Dr. T. Morris from Elgin says, greetings. I think it's not a bad idea. They're doing it anyway illegally. I'm a United States veteran, and I used to wonder the same thing about being able to do all these other things but not have an alcoholic beverage. It's the maturity and the upbringing. All right, our next viewer has this to say, Paul from Winsboro. I think it should be lowered. If kids have been brought up correctly, they will be fine. 18 years old is old enough to die for your country. Just let them have a drink.
All right, so this viewer says, hey to my favorite newscast, hey to you. This one hit the roof at 18, graduates from high school, goes to a party, gets drunk, 18, get behind a car, and kill someone because the state will allow them to drink. I don't think so. That is a very sobering comment there. And then this viewer says, I agree, if they can go to war and risk their lives, they should be able to drink responsibly.
Okay, a lot of people thinking 18 is old enough. This viewer, Henry from Irmo, says, having served in the Marine Corps, happy birthday to the Marines. That's right. When I was 18, I turned legal 21 in Vietnam. I believe if you have a valid military ID, you should be allowed to drink. Thank you for your service, Henry, and a happy Veterans Day to you. And Charlie in KC says, howdy, I agree with Andrea. 21 worked for me. I see no reason to change it. Heck, if half the 21-year-olds shouldn't be drinking, look at 5 points. Leave it where it is. So split decisions, but more than I thought, Darcy, that said, yeah, go ahead and lower it to 18.
We knew we were going to get a lot of comments about this. We really did. And so you're right. Half of the people are saying it's a great idea. The other half saying, I don't think so. And a lot of it, again, depends on the maturity of an individual, whether they're 18 or 21. I know some 38-year-olds who probably should not be drinking alcohol on a consistent basis. So You know, we'll see. We'll see how this works out. It was a pre-filed bill, and so there's still lots of time and lots of discussion ahead.
Yeah, if they even take it up, if it ever actually did pass, which I doubt it would, South Carolina would suddenly become the most popular state in the country for young people. All right, we are going to take a quick break and be back with more Friends at 5 after this.